I made a video the other day telling you guys to imagine that this could potentially be the last time that you are ever doing whatever it is you are doing, whether it is driving, spending time with a loved one, partaking in a hobby that you like, or something as I wouldn't say small, but small in the sense of we do it potentially all day, every day, and don't even really realize it, like seeing. Like if everything just went black, you'd give anything to just see a leaf again, or something so minute that we take for granted every day. Or if you became paralyzed, to just flex a finger would be of great pleasure to you. But today I want to bring the idea to you, not of doing something for the last time, but of doing something for the first time. And the benefit of believing that you're doing something for the first time is that you can drop all of your preconceived notions. You can go into something with a clean slate. And I mean, it's almost impossible to eliminate your biases, but you can do away with a lot of biases, and you can if you can get as close as you can to doing something for the first time. And that's a mental state, because obviously you're not gonna walk for the first time ever again. You're not gonna do anything for the first time ever again. Most things we have already done, unless it's an external thing like places or something like that. But like you can go back, you can imagine this being the first time that you are seeing a certain place, potentially like your room, per se. I go into my room every day and I don't really realize, the posters that I have hanging up, like this Marcus Aurelius. I'm pretty sure you guys can see that in the video. That's a poster of Marcus Aurelius. I'm pretty, they call it sign blind. When you see something every single day, you don't even realize it's there. Most of the time I don't even realize that thing's there. And I have a world map above my bed also, and a national parks um, poster. I have a whiteboard where I write stuff down on, kind of reminders and stuff and goals. But I forget, I forget it's even there until, I write a goal, and then, the next couple times I walk into my room, it catches my eye. But then as soon as it's there, it's almost gone, because I'm just so used to it, and just so used to it. So it's very valuable, I believe. And, in an instance like this, if I walk into my room if I act like it's the first time, I can see the whiteboard and, look at all the goals and all the things I've written. And I can see the quotes I have hanging on my wall. And instead of, trying to rush through reading the quote, I can really take my time and think about it. Like I have one right here, and it's: pain is neither unbearable nor unending, as long as you keep in mind its limits and don't magnify them in your imagination. Now, that's an amazing quote, and I probably haven't read that in months, to be honest. And it's right there in my room. I glance into my peripherals every single day, but I don't stop to take the time to read it. And above it, I have: no longer think deeply of the hazards, you will not see them in your future memories. Those are two very helpful, profound quotes, I believe, both by Marcus Aurelius. And I don't come into my room with that mindset that it's my first time ever. So I don't notice things like that. I don't notice those profound quotes on the wall, or I have pictures up next to that, and I don't notice those pictures. Rarely I notice those pictures, and it's sad, because I feel like we sleepwalk through so much of our day with preconceived notions. And this actually is a true thing that the mind does. I was reading a book called The Expectation Effect, and it talks about how your mind predicts areas. So when you're walking into your room, There's too much going on for your mind to just get hit in the face with it every single time in your sight. So you know where you're about to go into, and your mind starts anticipating what you're potentially going to see. It'll remember the last time you were in your room, and it'll be like, all right, so the TV's there, the bed's there, the desk is here, pictures are here, laptop's there, mirrors there, and it predicts all these things. So when you walk into a room, if it correlates with the prediction that your mind made, you don't really question it. Like a poster that hangs there every single day, unmoving, my mind has a pretty good prediction probability that it usually predicts that that's there, and it usually is there. So we almost, without even knowing it, just become so blind to it. And that's just how life is, until something, jolts you awake. You don't even realize so much that goes on in your daily life. You don't realize how much you're taking for granted. People get into car accidents or get their cancer diagnosis, and it's like they suddenly wake up. They suddenly realize they're going to die. They suddenly realize all the loved ones in their life that they haven't mended ill relationships with, all the things that they want to do, all the places they want to see, all the things they want to get off their chest and say, all the things they never went after, and how they were just dogmatic and going through life day by day consistently. And Ralph Waldo Emerson talks about consistency and self-reliance, and consistency is amazing. And consistency is also horrible. It's both the greatest aid to success and the greatest barrier to success. To be consistent, you need, or to be successful, you almost, you need to be consistent. If you want to make progress in the gym, you got to go to the gym, a certain number of days every single week. You can't just stop going to the gym and build muscle, or get or lose weight. You can't just stop being in a calorie deficit and lose weight. You have to be consistent. But on the same end, if I was consistent to such a T where I sat in the same position and made the same exact video every day talking about the same thing, I would get nothing out of this. You guys would get nothing out of this. No one would get anything out of this. So consistency is an aid and an detrimental feature to success, because there's discipline and consistency. You don't want to do it, but you do it anyways. But you need to be careful, because you don't want to sleepwalk through your day with the same habits and consistencies. It's good to switch things up. It's good to take a different route when you're walking. It's good to read about something you typically don't read about. Recently I got a book from Epicurus, and for those of you who don't know who Epicurus is, he is the founder of the rival school of Stoicism. And I've read a lot of Stoicism, and I like Stoicism a lot. But I've recently been reading a book by Pierre Hadot called "The Present Alone Is Our Happiness," and he quotes Epicurus a lot. And every single quote, I'm sitting there like, this is good. Like, this is good stuff. But society and my preconceived notions have told me that he is the opposite of something I like. So the opposite of something I like is gonna be something I don't like. But that's not necessarily the case. And I've seen so many good Epicurus quotes that I've decided, to give him a chance. And I have the book. I ordered the book, so I'll be getting that soon, and I'll definitely be reading it. So it's things like that, like you don't read the same book over and over and over again. You read a book, take the knowledge, and read another book. You don't do the same things over and over again. You do something, learn from it, and do something different, and then learn from that, and then do something different. And there's got to be a little bit of consistency, obviously, but I think I'm beating a dead horse, and you guys can kind of understand what I'm saying here. With consistency can kill you, and your preconceived notions can kill you too. Because if you go through your day, you're never truly in the present if you're just taking everything at face value. Like, to truly be coming to the present moment, to feel the weight of your body sitting in this chair, feel the sensations and the tinglings throughout your body, feel your feet, hear the sounds that are going on. There's like a subtle buzz going on in here that's always there. I'm sure that buzz is always there. It's probably some electrical cable or something, there's traffic going by. These things are always there, but you don't pick them up. You don't pick up the things that are always there because you're not listening. You're not in the present moment. You just have preconceived notions about how this moment is supposed to be and how you're supposed to go through your day. So you're not really sitting there like, what's going on right now? What am I feeling? What are the thoughts going through my head? What are the sensations I'm feeling in my body? The noises I'm hearing? The people around me? Like, who are they? Marcus Aurelius talks about stripping the legend, or stripping things of their legend. He looks at his purple cloak, which would be the symbol of the most powerful man in the world, the Emperor of Rome at that time. And he looks at it and he says, this is a cloak dyed with shellfish blood. He strips it bare. He's not like, this is a purple cloak that the ruler of the world wears. He's like, this is any ordinary cloak that just got dyed with the blood of this animal. Or, he looks at a dead animal and he thinks, he gets a piece of meat and he looks at it, this is a dead animal I'm eating. He strips things bare. He looks at them. He doesn't just take a preconceived notion or not even look into anything, but he is aware of his surroundings and aware of what's going on. He's stripping the legend off of everything. And I think it's very powerful to look at things for the first time and really dig into them, because you'll realize you don't even really know how to make so many of the things around you, or what even is the substance that makes that. Like my TV right here. Like, I can't make a TV. I don't even know where to start, and I don't even really know the raw material that goes into making a TV. But that's just not something you think about. You just think about, oh, TV. It plays stuff. I watch things on it. But you don't strip it bare. It's wires and electricity and glass and plastic and all formed into this thing that somehow picks up a signal and projects something. Somehow. I mean, it's a mystery to me. It really is. And I just don't think we really take appreciation of that, and how amazing and crazy some things are that you're so used to that you don't really see the wonder in it, or you don't really strip it bare of its legend. You just take it at face value and then say on to the next, and you're sign blind to it. You can be sign blind to so many things. I've spent a lot of time in San Diego and in Maine recently, and there's a lot more trees in Maine than in San Diego. And I don't appreciate the trees when I'm here in Maine, but I appreciate it when I'm in San Diego. I'm like, oh, dude, like, I miss, the trees. Like, they're so beautiful. It's about to be fall, and I've wanted to see a fall here for so long. I've missed the last couple falls, and the last time I saw a fall, like, I didn't even care. It was like, whatever, the trees are changing, cool. Now it's like, good stuff. And I'm going to be looking at it as if it is my first time and my last time. And I think with both those combined into one, there's immense appreciation for whatever it is you're looking at, or for whatever it is you're doing, whatever present moment you are, but the present moment you're in, there could be so much appreciation and gratitude if you look at something for the first, as if it is the first time, and then the last time. But I have a video about the last time, but we're just going to focus on the first time in this video, and just how powerful it can be, to look at something like a child, like, the Bible talks about having childlike faith, and, truly the kingdom is theirs, the child. And think about how a child looks at something that you don't even really think about could amaze a child, could bring up so many deep emotions. And it's like, you're like, it's a tree. Like, what is, like, what is this kid freaking out about? But I mean, when you really think about it, like, someone's first time is they really see a tree, it's pretty cool. It's a tree. Trees are pretty cool. Or, like the leaves changing. The first time you really get to appreciate a fall, you're like, this is pretty cool. Or the first time you see an ocean, or, all these things. And it's sad because we grow up as kids, and we see all these things for the first time. And, the wonder of the world is amazing. And then as you slowly get older and slowly get more conscious, and your brain develops and everything, you think you're above these things, and you start to lose the excitement and the wonder for the world. And then at some point, sadly and mysteriously, the ego tricks you into thinking you know everything. And the ego tricks you into thinking that you don't need to look at the world through a new lens. The lens you've already created is good enough. And the world is boring. And you're amazing. You're great, but the world is boring. And there's nothing great in it for you. There's nothing amazing about staring at a tree for 30 minutes. There's nothing amazing about being with your breath for 10 minutes. There's nothing amazing about contemplating existence and the stars and God and the universe. Your ego tells you that there's nothing great about that stuff. But there is, and it's profound. And when you act like you're a child and you like dig and pound into a problem, it's profound, especially when you're not a child anymore, because you can actually have deep, complex thoughts about it. When you're a kid, you're amazed, but you really don't even know what to think about it. You're like, this is crazy, but I don't even know what that thing's called. But now you have the power of looking at something for the first time, but also having the understanding and the cognitive ability to dig into it, truly dig into it, and get philosophical about it. So don't ever be bored when there's so much wonder. There's so much stuff that we humans don't even know yet. In 100 years, think about 100 years ago, what the world looks like today. How crazy it would be for someone 100 years ago to be plopped into this world. Just phones in general, just an iPhone in general would blow anyone's mind 100 years ago. If you gave the most powerful man in the world 100 years ago an iPhone, he would have no idea what, you know what I mean? Like, if something that you have every day in your pocket that you take for granted would be like that would be like the most valuable thing in the whole entire world 100 years ago. Like an iPhone, how much you could do with that, it'd be the most valuable object probably. And now everyone has one, and you never really think about what you have in your pocket or your hand or in your vicinity at all times. You have the knowledge of thousands of years in your hand, and you're busy, scrolling through social media or answering a comment, being a keyboard warrior on Twitter or Instagram or whatever it may be, or just whatever it may be. Think about how much we take for granted, stuff like that. And I feel like that's the power of sometimes potentially looking at things as the first time. Like looking at your phone as if it was the first time you were looking at your phone. I don't think you'd be stuck in social media. You'd be just amazed at the inner workings, and you probably couldn't even get past the lock screen because of how amazing and wild it is to have something like that in the palm of your hand. So try to look at things for the first time. And once you've done that, then truly grapple with it. Grapple with looking at it as if it's your last time. And in that world, in that two pieces of information colliding, you should have immense gratitude for whatever it is you're looking at or doing.